Today, guys, I want to talk a little bit about how things have been going. 30 days, about a month ago, I came to you all with a bit of a ridiculous idea. A video much like this where I basically said, hey, listen, there's something I want to do. None of you have been asking for it. None of you think you want it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that, of course, was the big Guild Wars LP. And really, that has spiraled a ton of different stuff that's gone on over the past month and a ton of stuff upcoming. So I wanted to take the time today, even though I really have no confidence in this style of video, because really it's not any content of its own, to talk to you all about how things have been and my thoughts and feelings going forwards. So we've got some good news, some bad news, and hopefully just generally interesting stuff going on. Now, the big playthrough is not all I have to talk about today, but it is a big part of it. So let's start there. Yeah, it's been about a month, and wow. I mean, where do we start? I'm pretty much blown away. You know, I've been doing playthrough content, LP style stuff ever since really I started my channel. I think one of the first ones I did years back was BioShock, maybe. So I have a reasonably good compass for what to expect. And this has really defied all expectations. So the big playthrough has had, I think at the time of me making this video, well over 40,000 people have given it a try, which is way more than I would have expected, way more than an old MMO core content really necessarily deserves. But you guys trusted me from that initial VOD, you've given it a shot, and that's really blown me away. Honestly, LPs have a bit of a spike when you first release them, but then slowly continue growing and building viewership over the years, especially once the project is finished. That's just going to keep snowballing up, so I'm really happy with where that is. And even better, about a third of you, usually on an LP, the first episode gets tons of viewers and then nobody carries on with it, but about a third of you are continuing along, like all the way up to the most recent videos, with thousands and thousands like fanatically waiting to get it in the first 24 hours. So that's great. I think looking at my channel from the outside, obviously per video our viewer average is lower, but the frequency of our uploads and still catching so many people, and with how long the videos are, it's actually kind of mental. Here, for a bit of perspective, guys, this is an image of my YouTube analytics, right? For watch time, not viewership, but the amount of time people actually spend watching Wood and Potatoes in terms of hundreds of thousands of minutes. And so this is from January through till now, and it's so obvious, right, when we started the LP, just having that constant, consistent content and chat about Tyria has been brilliant, and it's really shown. You know, I see a lot more people talking about core Tyrian areas, their enthusiasm for that side of the game and all the lore we had there, totally renewed, and I'm really proud that it's continued to go as it does. I would hope as well, once we get out of the kind of shoddy core stuff, it gets even more interesting to those of you who are more excited about Heart of Thorns, and obviously the pot of gold at the end, Path of Fire. Because remember, guys, this whole project really is about catching back up with POF and finally getting all that juicy analysis and story discussion about the newest stuff too. So to that end, we're about a third of the way through. If you remember when I did my original VOD, I said, listen, this is going to be a ton of content. But at the end of the day, if we spam it out fast enough, we can get through reasonably quickly. And I used the Guild Wars 1 LP I did as a reference. The Guild Wars 1 LP for Prophecies took something like 3 to 4 months, I think. And I said, listen, if I go fast enough and quick enough with Guild Wars 2, it could only be that period of time again for the second game. And I think we're pretty much on point with that. We're 1 month down. We're actually about a third of the way through the story already. And there's no sign that I'll be slowing down anytime soon. My motivation is still really high for it. Everybody's watching it. So we'll continue charging along. And before you guys know it, yeah, we will be up with all of the newer content. Interesting thing as well, I told you all and reminded you that I attempted to do a Guild Wars 2 LP way back when the game originally came out in like 2012, 2013. Funnily enough, the new one we're doing, the 2K18 one, that's actually at about the same level as when I abandoned the original, about 30 videos in. In terms of watch time, our 2018 version is way longer. But yeah, I find it kind of interesting there that the old one was withering and dying at about this point, and there'd been huge breaks between episodes. But for us here, we're just marching on one a day every time, and that's really great. A lot of you guys have had some questions about stuff. So number one, like my upload schedule. Yeah, it's about every day to day and a half I upload. There's like no hard and fast time, so that's why it'll be a bit sporadic. I'd love to do like hardcore scheduling, but I've tried that in the past and it just doesn't work, so I'm not stressing myself over that. You should just generally see that they come out in a frequent pace, but the exact hour I won't be able to nail down. So that's one thing people have been asking. Hopefully you find that's a satisfactory answer. Another thing that I really want to talk about, though, is Living World Season 1. So, on this topic, basically, everybody's seeing me play everything comprehensively in the wooden potato style, and there's this big question coming up. Once we finish the core content, once we beat Zaitan, Living World Season 1 is going to be coming up, and you guys want the same style thing. You want a full-on, awesome LP of that. But to do that is obviously really difficult because it doesn't exist in-game. And so people are all saying, oh, I wonder what he's going to do, I wonder what he's going to do. I'm not settled just yet. And I'll be very clear, I haven't made up my mind, but I'm going to let you down now, generally speaking. Don't hold your breath. There is the potential that I could scour all my old videos, all my old playlists, and everyone else on YouTube, and I could piece together, jigsaw puzzle, a story from countless old videos of varying editing and video qualities. Some of them low frame rate, some of them extremely low bit rate, some of them low resolution. And I could try and stitch them together, grabbing and supplementing from other areas of the community, asking people's permission to use that footage. I could do that, but just to get any kind of sense of a cohesive, like, LP out of it there, where I commentate after it, is going to be a lot of work. Way harder than just turning on the game and playing. And a big part of this series was actually to be able to make good, renewable content for you guys that wasn't some insane job. So I'll just be blunt. That does not seem very appealing to me right now. There is already on my channel a pretty good playlist. Now, I've re-reviewed it and watched it. I've seen the quality of my stuff. There is a pretty good playlist of Season 1 content I've already done. The people have been watching and saying, hey, actually, this is pretty good. So maybe I'll use that playlist. And then, of course, there is also Dreamy Abaddon's Living World Season 1 movie, of which I am a participant in. That is like a 3-hour sum up of all of it that does the kind of jigsaw puzzle thing. So I've got some resources already. It might be, guys, that when we get to that point in the series, I just point you to one of those. So who knows? I don't know, but just don't hold your breath that I'll do something amazing. I'll be perfectly honest, in a way, I kind of don't want to do anything for Season 1, because yes, that's going to sting. We're going to be watching it, we'll be super into the story, but just skipping over Season 1, at the end of the day, that's what Guild Wars 2 forces you to do right now, and maybe putting it bluntly out there, like, yeah, this is actually the shoddy situation that the game's in. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that raises exposure for that problem and reinvigorates people to ask for Season 1 coming back in, because I don't think there's enough discussion about the return of Season 1, and I don't know, galvanizing that in some way might be a good thing for the game. I don't know, but yeah, it is on my mind. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking. That's kind of where I sit with it at the moment. Another really interesting and sort of similar topic's been coming up with the LP as well that I do want to chime in on. And again, it's to do with this idea that, you know, Living World Season 1 isn't in the game, and that's kind of bad, so how will I handle that on the LP? Well, that's happening a lot throughout the series, because, as you guys know, as experienced players, a lot of the core game really isn't that exciting, and particularly when it comes to me, a lot of you guys know I don't even like the core game that much. I don't even like the way that the personal story does things very much, and yet here I am on this series trying to present it in the best way possible. I think that has been really interesting and fun to see from like a content creation standpoint. So like as an example, in one of the early episodes, I get like a pebble as a drop, and I excitedly say to the camera, oh guys, look, we can slot this pebble in and it will make us stronger. And I tried to get you enthusiastic about it, even though we as veteran players all know, listen, this system really doesn't mean anything. None of the gear as you level in regular core Guild Wars 2 means anything. It's a shoddy, terrible experience. And I've never shied away from telling you guys that. So it's kind of funny to see me doing this series where I'm acting all enthusiastic and thrilled about things, when the truth is it really that good or not? And so, yeah, to chime in that, I do get it. It's kind of like a weird, almost deceitful thing. And you can maybe see a little bit now where that fine line is that I'm always trying to tread in any of the projects I do. My goal with this series is to present Guild Wars 2 as best as I possibly can. And sometimes that means being enthusiastic about the flavor and the idea behind what's there rather than the actual implementation. You know, maybe that specific moment with the pebble was going overboard, but like on the engineer, right, I show off the med kit. And medkit's crap. We all know that medkit's crap. We all know that no one ever really uses it. But the idea behind the skills genuinely is exciting. So when I'm showing you and being enthusiastic about the medkit, it's more the flavor and the idea of what they're going for that I want people to be enthused by rather than the specifics. Especially for Guild Wars 2, one of the exciting things is the specifics can change, especially when it comes to skill balance. Medkit might not be that good, practically speaking, right now, but when someone's watching the LP in 2020, the balance might have shifted such that medkit's pretty good. The flavor will likely always be the same. The idea behind it will likely always be the same. But, you know, the specifics of how worthwhile it is like a nitty-gritty conversation that there's a time and a place for, and it's not necessarily as we're just unlocking the skills and going through. But yeah, it's a really fine line. It's a fun thing for me to have had to have wrestled with because I so blatantly don't like the core story. I so blatantly see so many places the devs could improve. And you obviously don't want to get to a point where you're just straight up lying about something or making excuses for the products, in this case Guild Wars 2, where really it has no excuse. For example, in Corticus Manor, where we see blatant typos, you know, we're going to talk about those typos being in the game years after its original release. So I'm glad to see people are talking about it and wondering about it themselves. I think I've struck a reasonable balance, and yeah, we'll just carry on the way that we've been going. So that's really the last of what I have to say about the project. Again, just to reiterate, thank you so much to everyone who gave it a shot. I have been blown away by the response. And to those of you who still haven't, or maybe you've fallen behind, it's not too late. Get in there, have a watch. I love when people leave comments on old videos, so even if you go back to those earlier episodes, drop your comments. I look at them all the time. Go ahead, try me. You'll probably get a response leaving a comment on any old random video on this channel because I hawk them like mad. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun, and I encourage everybody to go ahead and keep checking it out because the buffer, the amount of videos that are there for you to just be able to binge watch, is only growing day by day. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was to do with Patreon. Now, I did mention Patreon in one of those LP videos, and it got a huge response. Lots of you guys signed up on there because I mentioned on the LP videos, so thank you very much to all of you. And as a bit of a reward for that, and also just something going on there you guys may have missed, I did want to announce, I have been sneaky working on a bonus series of videos over the past week and a half that nobody really knows about. Yes, there is an exclusive series for people on Patreon that just went live today, finished uploading the last one, on the Super Adventure Box. So I do have a post for people over on the website. It's about a 10-hour-long 2018 gameplay series I've just made in the background, about 11 parts long, 11 episodes, all about SAB, where to complement the main LP series, I've done one on that too. We took Bract sneakily in the middle of his adventure, and yeah, I kind of just spent a long time in the SAB going delirious from jumping so much, taking a totally fresh tune with no upgrades, no baubles, all the way through the box. No infinite continue coin was used. And, you know, starting with World 1, Zone 1, ending with the Storm Wizard. There's little bits of lore in there. I've got the short story, The Shadow Box. Here, I'll play you guys a clip so you can check it out. Moto banged on the door between lengthy doorbell buzzing. A voice, as friendly as a fist, came through the speaker. What? Lord, it's Moto. We conversed last month at the Arcane Council Brandy and Benefactors Party. You funded our prototype edutainment device, the Adventure Box. I've got the extra stuff that doesn't exist in SAB anymore, like the genie, the preview to the sparkling pools. I've got all the story about that extra lab with the regular adventure box and those other Asura with their dialogue. It's really good. I've got the furniture shops. I've got the new 2018 race content in there. Basically, a fully comprehensive SAB series, which I'd never done before, and I'd only had like sporadic content, like random trib videos. Sometimes I'd be with Matt, say. Sometimes I'd be on my own. Sometimes it'd be a speedrun thing. Some zones I didn't even have any coverage of. So yeah, I cracked that out. I decided, you know what, I'm on a roll, I'll go for it. And yeah, there is another series of videos that is on Patreon exclusively now, but I am aiming to release later on in the year, just regular for the channel. So that will be like a buffer period between like the end of season 2 and the start of Heart of Thorns or something. So you guys will get to see that SAB series. It's just for now, it's exclusively up for people over there. So yeah, that's something that's going on. Next big thing to talk about, the audiobooks. All right, so when I announced finally that I'd been given this permission to do the audiobooks, that I wasn't going to get copyright struck, that it was going to be okay, I had a massive amount of positive feedback. Like the tweet I did announcing that, everybody swarmed over. It's a tweet unlike any I've had for a very, very, very long time. It was generally all really exciting. Everyone was enthused. However, now that I've started to upload them, I've noticed a lot of you guys aren't really watching. A lot of people aren't that interested in the idea of an audiobook over YouTube. So despite the fact everybody likes it and they say it all sounds very professional and stuff, it is a very, very low viewership series. And some of you might be wondering if I'm going to do anything about that. So, first of all, I understand fully why it's low viewership. Here's what's happening. Number one, people, want to actually be able to watch something on the videos too, and they can to an extent as long as the community makes fan art, but that might not permanently happen. But number two, it's an audiobook. People want to listen to it without looking at all, so that they can listen to it in their car or whatever. They want MP3s. They don't necessarily want to have to rip it off of YouTube themselves and stuff. And lastly, this will be the really big reason why the viewership is a lot lower on it. People want to listen to it all in one. They don't want to go a chapter a week, I guess. They want to only listen to it once it's finished, a bit like with the LP, right? Lots more people will watch it once it's finished. So I understand fully the reasons why the viewership is lower. The problem is I don't really have time to just sit down and record a whole novel for you all. I also think that would probably stress my throat and stuff, and I think getting to it slowly over time, I can put more effort into the voices and more quality control and stuff. So I really don't want to do a whole novel. So here's what I'm going to do. We will do Ghost of Ascalon with this format, and we'll continue on with it. We'll do a chapter a video, and we'll continue with double chapters on Mondays. We'll keep doing the book club Mondays. However, my original plan was to then start doing Sea of Sorrows and Ghost of Ascalon and intersplice the two of them, and then we were going to go to Edge of Destiny, and we had bigger, grander plans. I'll put all of that stuff on hold. Listen, what we'll just do is we'll get Ghost of Ascalon done, and we'll finish it how we've started it. We'll go double chapters right through to the end of the book. Once the book is done, that whole finished book, I'll see how many people have decided to start watching. We'll see whether the viewership changes, it goes up or whatever. And based on how I'm feeling, how other projects and stuff are going, we'll then see about the other two books. But basically, from this response, I'm going to have to be more careful about how big of a, cake I decide to chew or whatever. So we'll see with that, but I'm still really enjoying making it, by the way, and those few of you who are watching and are leaving the comments, you're really making my day, and so there's no way that I'm going to stop with Ghosts. It's just more with the other novels. We'll hold our tongues on exactly what we plan to go ahead with there. But it's still a really fun project, and I'm really glad I'm doing it, because it's pushing the boundaries of what I'm capable of, and yeah, it's just straight up fun. So there you go. I may as well mention as well as a reminder, I am still paying lots of in-game gold and gems for people who make art for upcoming chapters. So if you're at all interested, then just throw me a message on Reddit and show me what you got. I'm really scared we're going to run out of art, but yeah. Moving on, I just want to tell you guys some other things that are on my mind. So as for other videos, it's not my plan for it just to be LP videos. I do still want to get more other ones out, more regular ones out that you guys are more familiar with. So like I did a Guild Wars 2 Mysteries on Dern Velasquez, which was very fun, and got a lot of people talking about cool stuff right in time for the Forum Lore AFC as well, by the way, which is currently ongoing. We actually got some new Utopia lore from the devs, guys. That's really good. But yeah, videos like that, news videos, balance with boots and stuff, that will all continue to come. I was really scared people would see lots of LP videos and very few of those other ones and believe that the LPs are replacing it, but that hasn't happened. You guys just seem to generally understand, look, news videos can only come out when there's actually news to report. Guild Wars mysteries can only come out when there's genuinely good mysteries to talk about and stuff, and so that seems to have all been fine. You guys have understood that really well, and hopefully you feel like there's been enough. What else is going on? On Wood and Potatoes 2, we had Game of the Day. That's kind of on hold at the moment, just because, and it's not really a question of time. I have leisure time. I'm spending leisure time doing things. It's just I'm not spending that leisure time PvPing right now, because since Fresh Air got nerfed, and unnecessarily so in my opinion, I've just not found another build I'd like to play in this meta. All the builds I want to play are either way too strong, and there's no great skill cap to them, and it's just, I'm really at a loss on this meta. It's so funny, because I don't hate the balance. I don't dislike the balance. I don't think that they've made all these terrible decisions. I think the balance in the meta is okay. It's just I've not got a build I particularly identify with that I'm playing anymore, and it's swiveled me from playing genuinely hundreds, even maybe, 1,000 games over Season 9 and 10 to, nothing. on Season 11. I'm just playing nothing just because of the fresh air nerf, which is really weird. It's amazing to see how a balanced decision can kill all of that. And that just means Game of the Day has sort of slowed down. But it's not dead. I just need to find something I want to play in PvP a lot, and you'll see that come back. For the guild, there was big news on Wooden Potatoes 2 as well. If you are a member of Spud, or you want to be a member of Spud, we've finally gone ahead and we've made the decision. We've split the two branches, EU and NA. It's a really good decision, really big thing. There was a video over on that this morning, which you guys can see as well. Christ, there is a lot going on, isn't there? But I must say, out of everything with this guild thing, if you are without a guild in the game, we are openly recruiting. I do anticipate the guild to shrink quite a lot when we make this move. So pretty much desperate for any players. If you want some friends, if you want a community, we are looking to build Spud back up. Don't be scared to come and join in. There'll be details on that video. And what else? There's a video you guys can expect with me and Boots, a very long, meaty video dealing with the Ravius quest chain. Ravius being a prominent member of the community who unfortunately passed away. And when Super Adventure Books returned, the devs did add a new quest chain for that, which I've done with Boots. You'll see us playing that. There was more current events that came in the game just last night, I think. This weekend's streams are going to be dealing with those, so you can tune in on that if you guys would like, and I'll do a video summing up what they are as well. And yeah, just stuff firing on all cylinders right now, guys. Q&As I'm hoping to bring back soon as well. We haven't had a regular Q&A for ages. I think we got up to like episode 98. And now we haven't done anything. I don't know whether I'll have time to do something special for 100, but I guess we'll see. I still want to get back to those. And yeah, that's about it, really. Last but not least, there is PvP stuff. And I don't necessarily mean Game of the Day, but anyone who's been watching me a lot on streams will know my big passion for the game right now actually is PvP. Competitive stuff. I'm loving PvP at the moment. I've been doing a lot of casts and practice casts. And there's actually a huge event that I want to be talking about very soon. So you might see a lot of PvP related content go out just for a week or so coming up soon. If you trusted me on the Let's Play, guys, it seems a lot of you did and a lot of you enjoyed it. Perhaps trust me on this one too. If you see some PvP stuff, please give it a shot and you could come away having won an eternity. Yeah, seriously, more on that very soon. So there you go, that's the state of the channel. That's the stuff that's going on. Basically, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you who have given all of this content a shot. We're pushing out so much stuff. For a long time, the channel was not putting out a lot of content. Like, right after Path of Fire with the triple release and doing the competition judging and stuff, it was quiet for a long time. It's nice to be back in a situation where we're pushing lots and lots of watch minutes out and you guys are eating it up. So, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone. You can leave a comment in the description about how you feel about all the current initiatives and stuff, and I'll give it a read. But until next time, thanks very much for watching. I will see you soon.